And he disappears. Well, this is an audio-only podcast. What's it called? Episode
I went
today,
to get
so
my.
can't tell.
I went to get my weapon to show you.
Jesus Christ! What is that?
It's a
What
lens.
is that? Okay,
Oh,
my
see?
God!
It gets bigger if I grab it and twist.
I was gonna say this looks like whenever you wear shorts and you stand up. This is quite the unit.
Just dragging on the ground behind me. Yeah.
Exactly.
No, this is a Canon RF 200 to 800.
This is what they killed Charlie Kirk with.
Oh, Jesus Christ! I should probably beep that.
No, don't keep it. Yes,
All
exactly right. You heard it here first. JT and his Canon what?
Canon RF 200 to 800 millimeter lens.
Lens, yes, it's a lens.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me. I'm a terrible
my
shot.
God. Yeah. Oh fuck, I love it. You should see, for the people. This is audio only. He pulled out something that was this was at least like 2 Subway sandwiches. The put together. This was like 75 centimeters worth of girth as well.
Oh yeah, it's thick.
Mashallah, this is absolutely. By the way,
I'm
I
taking
finally got
pictures of
fucking
birds.
Yeah, and he's sending it to us. He's such a beautiful boomer. He sent us a picture of an alligator. Oh my God.
Yeah,
I love
that
it.
alligator. He was coming to jaunt me after a while because I was just chilling on the bank of the water, and then I took some pictures of him, and he was just chilling there, and then I saw a little blue heron in the tree, and so I was taking some pictures of him, and then I glanced down, and homie the alligator's like creeping closer to the bank. I'm like, I'm gonna move now. So yeah, we got alligators in the neighborhood.
I love it. I love it for you. I'm sure their meat tastes good. But by the way,
They do.
Yeah. I've heard, apparently gamey chicken is what I've heard.
Yeah.
I would love to. Dude, you can take any meat, you dice it with some like lime and
Yeah.
parsley and some seasoning, and then you just fry it up and then make like a bad street taco, but it's just because it's so oily and salty and shit. It ends up being very good.
You make some Cajun alligator pasta. That is good.
Ooh,
that is really good. I've had the same thing with crocodile as well. And
then you almost died in
Zimbabwe. It wasn't because of the crocodile.
No?
No. That was
flu or some shit.
I got COVID, believe it or not, because I was at a wedding, and this boisterous, large Australian man loves Americans for some reason, and he was just yelling in my face the whole evening because it was so loud. Yeah, I know, right? Imagine
You're
liking
our own
Americans.
podcast's Bolsonaro.
Yeah,
Every
I
time he
absorb
gets
all
a
the disease to protect my boys.
he gets he's in inpatient treatment for like 2 weeks. Jesus Christ. Have you gotten your blood values checked, my guy?
No, we still don't
my
have a
God.
doctor here. We need to do that. I was telling
right,
Hakeem I went to the eye doctor today. At least we found that person, and my eyes are great. And by great, I mean worse than last time. But okay.
Beautiful blue
Yeah.
eyes that you just drown in. So warm and enveloping.
And
What
you
was I
can't
gonna
see
tell you?
past a foot away from my face. Yeah.
Okay, it's a typical happy. What you say. I refuse to get glasses. I am
Why?
very thoroughly in the Pol Pot gang.
Why?
Pol Pot gang forever. Okay.
Contacts.
No
How about
French.
contacts, at
no
least?
intellectuals. No glasses. No.
No intellectuals. Might as well kill yourself, Hakeem.
We start with the French, then we see how far we get.
Yeah,
It's going to
yeah.
take quite a bit of time. They're known to reside in swamps. And, wait, what was I going to tell you, Habibi? People can probably hear that I am the sniffles.
Yeah.
So I made me a little cup of green tea with some honey. And I'm wondering, JT, what is your go-to, since we're on the topic of your frequent disease, what is your go-to choice? What, do you mix Dr. Pepper with barbecue sauce? I don't know what you Americans do.
Yeah, a nice thick soda. No, though I did have a large Chick-fil-A Dr. Pepper with lunch today, which is, I forget how many.
Fear for your lipids.
Let me tell you the milliliters here. Hold up. No, I'm not interested in your AI mode. Not interested. Fuck off. 710 milliliters.
Jesus Christ, you drank all of that?
Yeah, I was about to get a refill, and I'm like, no, I shouldn't.
Oh my gosh, you're so good. Oh my God. You fed into the consumer's machine. How many calories in that large Chick-fil-A sandwich?
I don't even... A sandwich or the drink?
1,200. The drink is sugar-free, I'm assuming you did. 0.
No, of course not.
You drank
I get the real deal when I go out to eat.
Dude, you got 700 milliliters. No wonder Americans are fat. Dude, this is like 600 calories in a drink.
Calories. Hold on, let me check. It is...
I'm going to get 620.
Oh, it's not that bad. Let's see. Vary by beverage type. Large lemonade having 260 to 300 calories.
A lemonade or Dr. Pepper? What did you get?
Let me get Dr. Pepper. All right, let's see.
Dr. Pepper, exactly right. Full sugar Dr. Pepper, 700 milliliters.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's 270. That's nothing.
Yeah,
I could have
well,
10
no.
of those a day and be
Jesus
fine.
Christ. My God, and the Chick-fil-A on top of that. Hey, Happy, you live your life. I'm just,
Live your short life.
I don't want you to orphan your child or your children. Excuse me. Congrats.
No, I'm good at home. I have the zero sugar. I've got the cuck soda at home.
And they come in these little cute like dosage.
Yeah, the shotgun shell like, cans.
Yeah, you're like these people who have to go to the methadone clinics because they're getting off opioids. So
I need to sip safely.
Oh my God, it's a Midwestern poster with your face on it. I love it.
It's an epidemic. Well, dear listener, as you can probably tell from the lower overall volume of today's episode, our beautiful boy Ugopnik is not with us. He is with his granny in the club, and I'm not even exaggerating.
He sent us a video. He was like, "Oh, I'm gonna take my grandma to this like old people concert. Some like artist that she's been wanting to see." He's like, "Oh, how cute!" Then he sends us video and photos of it, and it's like a club, and he has like liquor on ice,
and the flashing purple lights and everything, like proper stage. Oh my God. And I was like, it looks really empty because all the tables were clear at the moment. And he's like, "Oh yeah, Granny's got VIP access," and he shows the shot behind them. It's like a full crowd and stuff.
Oh my God, I love it. It's such a Yugo like Tuesday evening, like you're winding down for the night. You're I don't know, you're doing your curl care or whatever, right? So you grooming, and then you get
goes 3 vodkas deep with his grandma.
Oh my God! And it's always the same. It's like it's 2 a.m. He's like, "I love you, I love you, motherfuckers," and then he sends a 2.5 second video that makes no sense of him with other large, very drunk men.
Yeah, it's like a low angle from below his chin. He's like, "Hey, hey," angling to see the other fellas in the frame. We love him.
And his signature way. I love it.
Our beautiful boy. Anyway, that's what's going on. Granny into club.
Bottle full of pub. Anyway, so that's what's happening with Hugo. So today we had a very what's it called? Not enthusiastic. What the fuck is the word? Ambitious episode planned. But Hugo double booked himself with a Granny Club montage. So we're gonna do something slightly lighter, and we're gonna leave the heavier stuff for the next recording, which will be very soon. I was thinking of just shooting the shit, talking about what we've been reading, goon a little on stream here,
gently.
JT and I. Obviously, let me bust out the ebook reader. Yes, I've become an heathen. The reason is because when I'm at any sort of like medical conference or whatever thing that I'm supposed to be paying attention in, I exclusively read theory, like I did in med school, by the way.
Yeah.
I will go on record, and I will tell you, in my 3rd year of med school, I think I read 180 books.
Jesus Christ! And this man is operating on people and stuff. He's like digging around in chest cavities, and he didn't read a word of it.
I love it. Yes, but yeah, no. What I treated it was like when I'm in my seminars or my lectures, that was theory study time, and at home that was my medical study time. Anyways, let me.
He's reading some work by Trotsky and just shaking his head in the back, and his teacher's like, "Why is he so pissed off about capillaries? What the fuck?"
Right. Oh my God. And then they would include the various racisms that they would include at times, or like various fun. I had an anatomy teacher, and he was trying to explain the like morphological differences between male and female brains. I was like, my guy, but he was very, very old. This man, this is an incredibly ancient man, and he was like, but he was like progressive. Sexist, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
He was saying like, like there's concentration of these specific form of neurons and like supportive structure in the male brain versus the female brain makes it so that men are better at focusing on singular tasks, but women are better at focusing on several tasks at once, but not nearly as well on single tasks, and vice versa for men not being able to multitask as well. And it was like, that's why, for example, it's better that a man is an ambulance driver. And he was like, you know how it is with the women is the driving of the car. And then that became a running joke with us. We would be like, the women is the driving of the car.
That's the best. I love old people for that. That reminds speaking of old people with funny accents, I was at Chick-fil-A today, as I mentioned briefly. and this German dude comes in, probably, I don't know, 60, something like that. And he comes up to the ordering counter thing, and he clearly hasn't been there many times, fresh off the boat, as we say. And he's like, I will have the original chicken sandwich and a Coke. And the lady's like, would you like any sauces? And he's like, sauces. And he's like looking around him to see if there are any examples. And she like points to the little banner that's on the drink thing. And he looks, he's like, yes, the zesty buffalo sauce, please. That's amazing.
Like he went Spanish with it, or Mexican with it at the end. Oh, that's so funny. I love it.
It was so sweet. Werner Herzog coming in to order Chick-fil-A.
Fucking.
There was no humanity in the buffalo sauce. Only sadness.
Zesty buffalo sauce. Oh my god. Dude, if there's let me do a racism myself. There's one accent I hate. You can probably hazard a guess. Not the French. The French, I would have to consider them human beings first, James, so not the French. If there's one thing, in Arabic, it's endearing. In English, I hate it. It's the Farsi accent. Iranians, when they speak English, Jesus Christ.
Interesting.
What's it called? Arabic, it sounds like whimsical and silly and cute. But when they speak English, oh my god.
Oh, you're going to have to bust it out, partner. Come on now. Let me hear it.
Azizam, how did you know that I am from Iran? Everybody thinks I'm from Brazil. I fucking hate it. Oh my god. It's so fucking... Yeah, no. So I can. By the way, I can get so racist. I cannot. There's certain things I would do that.
I know.
You've seen and heard. Yeah. You've been forced to witness.
Yeah, I'm uncomfortable in public with this man.
Oh my god, I love it. All right, hold on.
What were you saying? We got a topic about books on your e-reader.
We're talking about books. Hold on. There's one. Doesn't this book sound absolutely fascinating, Heavy B? Let me read you the title here.
No, go on.
Actually, no, it was actually very good. It's a friend of the show, Luna Oi,
yes.
who wrote the worldview, but translated from the Vietnamese, the worldview and philosophical methodology of Marxism and Leninism, which was their university course. And
you got the part 2 already? Or is this the
no,
first
it's not out, I don't think. Is this a part 2 out?
The ebook is out now. I don't know if the physical is out yet.
What?
But she just posted on YouTube, I think yesterday, that the ebook is out.
Okay, no, hold on. I'm gonna need to put like a little reminder for myself. Dude, let's fucking go. Oh my god.
We gotta have her on to talk about both of them.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, yeah, well, I'll take a look more deeply. Hold on the fucking ebook reader, for some reason they don't come up as comfortably. So I'll go into my little printing thing here. Here's the worldview and philosophical curriculum of the basic principles of Marxism and Leninism, the worldview and philosophical methodology of Marxism and Leninism. That was made by a friend of the show, Luna Oi. Highly recommended. What's it called?
Yeah, I've got the physical version.
Creator and fantastic videos and whatnot.
Yeah, she does amazing work. It's a beautiful book, really well translated as far as I can tell. Beautiful illustrations, very thorough. I mean, it is like it's a legit textbook, which is so cool.
Absolutely, and it's fantastic. The one thing I don't like about it, and this is something I really don't enjoy a lot of the times of what's it called, ideological or philosophical work that comes out of this like socialist frame. A lot of it is just very dry. I mean, it's supposed to be, I guess. It's not supposed to be fun reading. And I know I read dry shit all the fucking time, so this was not difficult to get through. But it gets to like such... I think I understand why they do this, but it's like, what is like matter, the meaning of methodology, relationship between matter and consciousness. Like these, some of these things also are very, let's say, very ideological, much less philosophical. I'm not going to get too like controversial about it. It's like, because ideology says so. So we're like, like the beginning, the basis, the nebulous basis of like the materialist outlook. Like a lot of it just taken for granted. But then when you get into the rest of it, like the materialist dialectics, quantity and quality, like transformation of quantity to quality and whatnot, this stuff is very interesting. I recommend it just so you can have at least a overview. But this also has another terminal sin of leftist books, which is that like every, like you make a claim or statement, and then it's like interjected by 16 paragraphs from something Engels wrote in a letter, and then after you continue, it's like, we get it, we can take your word for it. I don't need to read all the things
another
that they
book.
said.
Yeah.
But no, it's very good.
Yeah, I mean, if for nothing else than for the fact that you won't find a book like this from an American publisher if you're in the U.S. Like they just don't exist. So to have a translated one is very valuable.
Yeah. So that's that. Hold on, let's see what else is going. Actually, do you want to go one for one? What you've been reading recently?
But it's gonna be a vast difference here because I have not read a word of theory, a single drop of nonfiction since before Thomas was born. Because I'm like, I cannot bring myself to do any more work than I'm already doing. I've checked out almost completely from the news. I haven't gone on.
You have a newborn that is like waking you up at 2 a.m. every single day. I'm surprised you're even alive. You're getting the 45 minutes of sleep. Jesus Christ, do you have an excuse?
Once you've been through it once, you know, you can you got the muscle memory for the second one. But so I guess I'll give you the pleasure reading I've been doing. I'm on book number 6. Is it 6 or 5? I forget. The penultimate book of the Sun Eater series by Christopher Rucchio. It's good sci-fi. It's very melodramatic in a way, but it's not because it's poor writing. It's because the main character, it's a first-person point of view, and he is very melodramatic, and that's kind of like a joke throughout the book or the series. But it's very good. It's well written. The prose is good. I believe the author is a kind of Jordan Peterson fan. I don't know if he still is, but I think he was. He made a reference that seemed a little sus in the first book. But it's good. It's excellent reading. The last one is, I believe, finished and will be published later this year. So that'll be nice. If you're into sci-fi, I do recommend it. It's about, I don't even know if I can say what it's about without spoiling it.
Oh, see what you can give little nuggets of.
Yeah, I'll give you some nugs. So, first-person memoir. It's written like a memoir, which was weird to me at first. I'm like, okay, so the guy's not dead, clearly. So what are the stakes in this book? Why am I going to read it? And then that slowly, I actually quite like it now. It's cool how he's managed to use that to his advantage in the writing. But it's about a dude, kind of a coming of age thing in the first book, where he's a dude in the backwaters of the Imperium, which is like the humans have spread out across a large portion of the galaxy, stuff like that. And then suddenly he's thrust into a war between humanity and these other humanoid species called the Cielsten, and it's very, very good. And it takes in book number 3, a very interesting twist, and it was another one of those twists where I'm like, well, man, now what are the stakes in this book? The stakes are even lower, but they're not lower. It's good. If you can get through the first book and then maybe half of the second book, and then the third book,
.png.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's very good. It's very much a space opera. It's worth a read for sure.
Oh, it sounds very, very fun. I'm glad that you're enjoying it. You need to have the time off to unwind and let the imaginations flow. Yeah. I lack that bit. I'm not one of those people. I can close my eyes and imagine objects in space. But fiction, aside from, I love Kafka. I've always loved Kafka, and I love Lovecraft. Not for what he named his cat for, but because this is actual. Yeah, maybe.
Well, you are pretty racist.
Yeah, exactly right. No, Lovecraft would have called me that. He would have called me that. What his cat was called.
Yeah,
probably.
He would have.
Like, it's funny to see. It wasn't Dagon. One of his. I don't remember which one was in it, but he talks about. The dirty Syrians gathering around. By the way, it's just like it's like a complete side tangent where one of the main characters is basically walking past the dock, and there's like people who have recently arrived, of course, because this was the era in the United States, and he wanted to mention he just mentions in passing who these people are, and they play no role in the story, and he used the word dirty to describe the Syrians. But yeah, he's a funny guy. But
so,
his
back up. You can't rotate a cow on your head. I realize.
No, I can do that. I have like the ability, but my imaginative, like When some people say, "Oh, you read a book and you just get absorbed into it."
Yeah,
That's never happened to me. I'm always just reading a book. I'm always outside. I'm looking at paper and I'm like, "Oh, that's interesting that this happened." But I don't get like, I've never read a book and felt like, "Ooh, like tension." Like, "Oh, what's gonna happen? Oh my god!" Right?
Interesting.
I can watch a show and get that feeling, but from a book, I don't know. I've never been emotionally affected like that.
Very interesting.
I get very excited about certain like fun to read theory or history stuff. I can get like, ooh, like I'm excited to read more, but I don't.
Yeah.
You gave me a divisive smile. What was that about?
I was like, fun and theory are usually not in the same sentence.
Hey, hold on. I got a treat for you, baby. I got a treat for you.
Go on.
But before that, anybody who's interested in fiction that is also weird like me and enjoys just. Do you want to just see somebody eat shit, somebody feel bad in a book, and life just does not go their way? Read Kafka. He's fantastic. My favorite, it's my recommendation always is The Penal Colony, which everybody, I know, the smile is coming from JT. The Penis Colony. The Penal Colony is fantastic. The general story is basically you are a official from another land you're visiting, and I believe it's supposed to be on an island, and you have this official who's showing you around about how they torture basically, or otherwise administer punishment to criminals, or maybe they're not criminals. Throughout, and it's a very.
Is it written in second person the way you're saying you like that? Is it?
Yeah, it's like somebody's explaining to you. Yeah, it's written very nicely.
Very interesting.
And there's a bit of mixing of that. It's Kafka was generally such a brilliant writer. What are some other? Hunger Artist is a bit boring, but it's still like it's an interesting read. Start with Penal Colony. It's the best. All right, everybody loves Metamorphosis because of the meme. Haha, it turns into a bug. But it's not right. The Trial. The Trial is also really good. You can buy like little booklet versions of it. It's such a fun, like you have a train ride, you read it, and a lot of the times I joke with the boys. My life is like is like that fucking book. It's just the meme of the book basically is it's a guy who gets he's minding his business and two essentially police officers show up and they're like, hey, yeah, you're under arrest and you need to go and show up for a trial in front of the judge and this and this and that. He's like, but what am I under arrest for? And they keep dodging the question and not telling him, and he goes to try to defend himself in court, but he never knows what it is that he's being accused of, right?
Our poor Akeem.
Amongst other things, amongst other things, the way that he describes the table that he sits at with this is the very beginning of the book. That's one thing. That's one place where I can physically imagine myself sitting there, right, with his eye. Anyway, so read Kafka.
You strike me as a man who would enjoy the book Crime and Punishment. Do you like Crime and Punishment?
Yeah. I've been meaning to get into the Russian classics. I'm gonna go on this.
Crime and Punishment slaps.
It's like when I see a book that long, and I'm like, I could either read like the development of capitalism in Russia that Lenin wrote, which was like 700 something pages, or I can read this. I'm like, which one of them will be more useful from my end? But anyways, the book that you're mentioning about theory and fun don't go together. I am still making my way through because this is a pleasure read, this book. So I leave it only for when I have these boring courses that I'm like I don't really want to pay attention right now. So that's when I bust it out. And it is by our beloved friend of the show, Torkel Lausen. It's a new title. I think it came out like last year or something, recently. It's called The Long Transition Towards Socialism and the End of Capitalism.
That sounds good.
It's published by Iskra Press, which I highly recommend you check out. They just publish bangers. They're great. And this is in their series of studies in anti-imperialist Marxism. And this series has such giants as Emmanuel Ness and Ali Qadri and Torkel Lausen, amongst many other people who are on it. It's a very, very beautiful initiative. I'm not done with the book yet. I'm like 2/3 of the way there. But he kind of goes through... He has this entire part of the book called The History of Revolutions, which I think if anybody wants to get a good understanding of the Chinese experience, you need to read this book. He goes through basically the revolutions of 1848. He goes through the Paris Commune and the stuff that happened before it. He talks about what's going on in Germany and the Second International at the time. Then he goes through the Soviet experience, essentially. And then he leads into the Chinese experience. The one thing I will say is that his understanding of the Soviet experience at times is a little bit like... I don't want to say infantile. He's amazing at what he does. But some things he just takes at face value. Like the purges he does not understand whatsoever. Like he just kind of swallows there's politically motivated purges. I'm like, there was so much more to it, and the new research that's come out on this is so clear that it wasn't like, oh, this is an opportunity to weed out people that we don't like. It was like, holy shit, there's there's agents everywhere, and the people who you hire, or the people who are tasked with weeding them out, are also happen to be right on several levels.
Oh, interesting.
Right? Agents as well. It's
that's something I'm. This is kind of side tangent, but something I'm curious about, and maybe you know the answers. With this new data that comes to light and stuff, where is that coming from? Is it like old archives that are being translated, or
a lot of the archives are still locked?
In Russia?
Of the archives, in Russia, they're not, because it breaks, because Russia currently exists in a point of like this fantasy land regarding their history, the Soviet Union, where they're like, oh, we want credit for all the Soviet achievements, but we hate socialism and we don't want it, right? So if it's something that discredits the old socialist system, they want to keep all that. But anything that regards to the economic or military or diplomatic or positive like contributions for anti-imperialist or liberation movements, they want to keep all that, right? So they're very selective with what they release and allow access to. One of the things that they don't allow access to is like basically the highest profile interrogations and whatnot during the Great Purges. One of which, by the way, is Tukhachevsky, who was the general who was basically went fascist, allied with the Germans, wanted to do a military coup and overthrow the socialist system, and he had many supporters in the military that he had gathered, so on and so forth. He had certain white tendencies, like white Russian tendencies, amongst many other things. This one, the official story is, no, he was a good Soviet citizen and patriot, and it was just like a circumstance that forced him out, and because he was politically popular, and as a result, that made him unpopular with certain sections of the leading parts of the party, and they wanted to get rid of him, and blah blah. But like like his own grandson, who was also in the military in Russia, he has right to access the what's it called? He could access the records, and he's like, he's guilty for sure. This guy is guilty. my grandpa was a piece of shit, right? Like amongst a bunch of other, and it's similar things for all these other, right? I'm not trying to say that like there are some people who are very incorrectly, like unfairly tried, and there's many excesses and whatnot. I'm not trying to deny this. That was by intention. They're what's it called? Like to throw the scent off of actual fifth column elements in the Soviet Union at the time. These people were agents, or had otherwise dual
allegiance,
loyalties or allegiances, exactly right. They want to throw the scent off, so they would target actual good people who did not mean anything bad for the nation, and this caused a whole host of confusion, and that's where we're at. And there's like ideas that eventually will be open and whatnot, but it's very interesting that this is the stuff that they're keeping. And by the way, what's funny is that both Khrushchev and Gorbachev had two massive attempts or entire agencies set up to basically confer onto the Stalin era as many crimes as they could, and to prove the innocence of all these people. And that's why there's some people who were quote unquote like decriminalized or like rehabilitated in the 60s and then eventually in the 80s as well. One by Khrushchev and one by Gorbachev, certain sets of people. But in these like massive agency attempts where they had full access to the Soviet archives, these are the Soviets who are doing this, right? They could not come up with shit to properly deliver that message, right? So they had to continuously they did exactly what like the Western anti-communist Western academia does, which is they kind of rely on like circumstantial evidence to paint a specific by selectively not presenting certain pieces of evidence, amongst other things. This is not even to get to the point where certain like outside of the Soviet Union archives have been tampered with or had documents destroyed. The Trotsky archive, for example, was one of those where there's clear evidence of tampering of documents that are being referred to that existed in the archives that are no longer visible, so on and so forth. Like it's a very ideologically and historically motivated, politically motivated. So that's why. Huge tangent.
No, it's super interesting because that's not something I know anything about. And on the one hand, you're like, damn, I wish, just open the archives, let me read that. Yeah. But of course, that's how any kind of history works. It's all historiography to an extent. It's just that these particular periods are so hyper politicized that what can you do? But that sounds like a really
Exactly.
interesting book. Does it have a physical release, or is it just ebook?
Yeah, it's physical, and there's a PDF, and you can get it on the ISKRO website. The one thing that I recommend is that the section I mentioned, the history of revolutions. They have from the Chinese Revolution. There's several like sub chapters: Chinese Revolution, Third World on the Rise, the Cultural Revolution, and then the USSR, the end of actual existing socialism, and the Chinese encounters with neoliberal globalization. That ends with a thing on Xi Jinping. And this is very close to the end. There's like 100 pages left, and then the book ends. Highly recommended. He makes a very good argument for the nature of China, and I will not mention it for you. I want you to go and read the book yourself.
You're gonna make me read 700 pages of theory.
Exactly right. Yeah, it's not that much. It's 430 or something. It's not that bad.
Oh, okay.
It's not too bad. But yeah.
But it's not it's not prescriptive, is it? It's not like this is what we need to do. It's just kind of an analysis.
There is the third section. Maybe I haven't read it yet, but it has like commentary on the transition to socialism.
That's cool.
Your turn. What's the next book that you've been interested in?
Before I read the Sun Eater series, I read the Red Rising series, and there are a bunch of those books too. First one's a little young adult. I think it's kind of starts out with the whole academy of kids who have to overthrow the academy thing, that kind of trope, like same as Maze Runner, same as Hunger Games, that sort of thing. And then I think he realizes he has a better story on his hands, and so he expands the scope of it, and it's very, very interesting. So basically, it's one of these stories that's so far in the future that it kind of wraps back around to fantasy almost. It is sci-fi. But you have a society that it's become a caste society again. Once more, it's like an empire of humanity. But through genetic engineering, you have castes of humans basically lumped into colors. So you have the golds, which sit at the top of society. They are genetically engineered to have an extraordinarily long life, fewer health problems, better eyesight. They're taller, beautiful, all that stuff. You've got coppers who are bureaucrats, I think, or I forget, it's been so long. Silvers who are like legal people, down to like reds who are miners, laborers, stuff like that. Browns, I think, are like cooks and servants and things. Anyway, there's a whole color caste system, and it sounds very simple on the surface, and it is a very simple idea, but it's handled well throughout, and then it follows basically the story of a kid who is in this red caste, and how he escapes that, let's say, and then decides that, hey, this society kind of fucked up, let's do something about it. And then it's his grappling with his the two realities of his life, and then it expands into a broader kind of space opera-ish thing. Military stuff, military intrigue, vast scale conflict, as well as some very good interpersonal stuff. It's the first several books are first person from the perspective of this protagonist character, Darrow, and then later in the series, which is kind of unusual, he brings in multiple other perspectives, first person perspectives, and each chapter, each time they switch, the chapter heading is the character's name. Which is good. One of my favorite series is The Expanse, and in lieu of chapter titles, they just have the character's name, who it is. That's a point of view. But that is third person. But yeah, this was the first. The Red Rising series was the first series I had read in first person for a very long time, because I thought I did not like it, and I think that's because I had only read stuff that was done poorly. Because first person it falls into one of those categories where it's either really poorly written, like childish slop, or it can lend itself very well to some good introspective writing. And it's just, there's a fine line you have to walk there. And this falls into the latter category, at least after the first book. So I'm very pleased with it. Again, one book to go, and that one I think is coming out, I think summer of next year is when it's slated to release, but we shall see. It's very, very, very good.
I love it.
Good, some good commie themes in there. There's some commie themes. That's all I'm saying.
Beautiful commie. We have the most beautiful commie themes.
Yeah.
I love it.
Lots of fun.
Sounds very interesting.
I hate talking about fiction books because I can't say anything specific because I'll spoil anything. But yeah, it's good.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who always look for recommendations. Why not?
Yeah.
And if it comes from the mouth of the beloved Second Thought.
Come from the mouth. Ooh.
Oh, yes, please. All right.
Your turn.
The next book I read is one that is going to not be too interesting for most people. And it's one that I've want to take a look at. Again, it's called Occidentosis, A Plague from the West by Jalal Ali Ahmed, an Iranian writer and intellectual. Gharibzadeh is the Farsi term of it, which I love. It's like being struck by illness because of being mystified by the West, but it's like named as if it's a disease. I love it.
Swindled by the mysteries of the Occident for once.
Oh yeah, exactly right. Mysteries of the Orient. I love it. Yeah. I still can't. We were in a non-disclosed area or country, and we were walking across a bridge, looking at this beautiful marble building, enjoying the water. And for whatever reason, we commented about something vaguely Asian. And JT's like, the mysteries of the Orient.
That's my favorite white person thing.
Yeah, I love it. I love how you even do a bit of like a transatlantic thing. I love it.
Which is somewhere between transatlantic and Dave Chappelle's white person impersonation.
I love it. I wish you'd do that on the. That's how you should deliver the podcast. Honestly, this is a very good book for anybody specifically for Iranians, but just generally people from West Asia, North African area, or even greater, even into Central Asia. It's very good. He does make a few like errors, like of course ideological errors and historical errors, but this is kind of like a stream of consciousness that's very well organized, is basically what this is. And he's talking about the ideas of how this began, like how did like Iranian society specifically, but particularly the intellectuals and government and whatnot, become so obsessed with the West at the time. We're talking the 50s and 60s, so this is the Pahlavi dynasty, dog shit times for the vast majority of Iranians. If you talk to idiot diaspora people, then they're gonna be like, oh my gosh, my grandma, my very upper class grandma once wore a skirt, so that means it's okay, and it was a beautiful time. Ignore that 98% of the population were functionally illiterate. Ignore that there's no irrigation, there's no electricity. Ignore the what's it called, famine a few decades ago wiped out like a third of Iranian. Ignore all those. Ignore all of this, right? Ignore that Iranian oil was in the hands of the British and the Americans. Ignore all of this, okay?
I mean, as it should be.
I got to see Bubba. If I see Bubba, Bubba equal progress.
There's the Ugopnik interlude there. Bubba,
exactly.
Bubba, society good. No, Bubba, society bad.
Exactly. Very accurate. Oh my gosh, I miss him. But anyways, so he talks about that. Then he goes about like I love how the way the chapter head is like diagnosing the illness, the earliest signs of the illness, well springs of the flood, the first infections.
Patient zero.
Yeah. And then he goes and talks about like basically how it began, how he sees it around him, and what the future would look like, and what he thinks the particular solutions are. And he kind of focuses on education and stuff like that. And it's very, very eye-opening because this is the same thing that you still see with a lot of like particularly Iranian diaspora, but sometimes you see this even if you're not Iranian. You see like if you were to, you can be from like Colombia, right? And you were to meet like a Colombian American, and then they would just talk shit about Colombia and how Colombia is and everything's bad. But in the States, everything's fucking great. These people have a similar example of this, this like ideological brain rot at the foundation of their personalities. And this is just an interesting, I guess, study of it. And it's very short, by the way. It's 150 or something pages. With interesting historical tidbits. If you are not from the region, I bet it would be actually very fascinating for you, because there's many historical and cultural and poetic and otherwise and religious references that would be unique, that you have not seen before. Here, and I've heard that the Farsi is also very nice, the way that he's written it. I have not read it in Farsi because I cannot speak Farsi. Haramat. So that was the next one. How about you?
Let's see. I'm sure there were some things in between, but I'm forgetting. But what comes to mind next is the Three Body Problem series, which has since been turned into a Netflix phenomenon, which was pretty good. But it is by a Chinese fellow whose name I will not be able to pronounce. Si Jin Lu. They call him Si Jin Lu, folks. He's I believe he's worked with two translators on the series. One of the translators did two of the books, and one of them did one. They were both excellent. I don't think I've been able to tell you that there were two different guys, but it is a really fascinating look at first contact and then the consequences of it. Again, I don't want to spoil much of anything, but it's really good. It's part like police procedural, part hard sci-fi, part like really fantastical sci-fi. but it is. I would put it up there as. I don't want to. It's hard to say the best, but it is certainly one of the best examples. One of the best examples of sci-fi that I've read, certainly in recent years. It's 3 books. They're kind of chunky, but they're really engaging reads. Never boring. Highly, highly recommend it. But as a perk, they are really pretty books. The covers are nice. It's like a nice green, a nice yellow, and I forget the color of the other one. But they look great on your shelf. So even if you're not going to read them, you can put them on your shelf and look smart. But it's really, really cool. Highly recommended. Other than that, I read Children of Time by Adrian Tchaikovsky, I believe the author's name is. And at the time, I didn't appreciate it as much as apparently a lot of other people did, because it won, I think, the Hugo Award for excellent sci-fi or whatever. But it's one of those that it also deals with humanity and deep space and time and the brevity of human life and how you handle that crossing vast distances. But it also deals with like intelligent life in the form of spiders as like a parallel story, which is very, very interesting. And then they eventually intersect. Very creative stuff, even if it didn't stand out as like my favorite. I need to go back and read it again because it is a fine piece of work and very, very clever.
Very nice. I'm noticing a trend of the books that you like to read.
I only read
sci-fi.
That you like.
Yeah. No. That you really like sci-fi. I'm surprised that it's always what's it called? What brings you? What draws you to that?
I think it's because I burned myself out on fantasy as a kid. I was a voracious reader as a kid. Like R.A. Salvatore was an author that I particularly liked, and he has just dozens of books, I think, set in what amounts to the D&D, Dungeons and Dragons universe, calls it Forgotten Realms, and I just read those all the time. Like, he had multiple 1,000+ page books, and I was just always tearing through those, and eventually I just kind of burned myself out on them. Very, very good if you're into that kind of high fantasy. The Forgotten Realms books by R.A. Salvatore, and it's basically just an expanded universe there where they have multiple storylines. Like, there's a quintet of books that feature the same characters, and then there's another, I don't know, dozen books that feature another set of characters, and then there's some overlap between them sometimes, but you can read them in whatever order, which is cool. And then other than that, the Redwall series when I was younger, which I know a lot of young readers really like as well. And if you're a young listener, you probably shouldn't be listening to this podcast, but if you're young, check out Redwall. It's like very wholesome adventures of like woodland creatures who live in this abbey called Redwall. Very, very good. I intend to give those to Evie as soon as she's able to read, because they are lots of fun. That's by Brian Jakes. But yeah, I think that was what it is. It's a bit of my tism peeking through. I fixate on one genre and just kind of beat it to death for a while. And I'm in my sci-fi era. Which I just really enjoy.
We love to see it. All right, I'm gonna throw another one at you. Another book recommendation at you. This one is a Finkelstein classic that I had not read before. It's Beyond Chutzpah, on the misuse of anti-Semitism and the abuse of history. It's a good book, but in the typical nature and prose of Finkelstein is so fucking wordy.
Fink Normalstein at it again.
Yeah. What I love about him is he's very eloquent, and it's very nice to listen to him talk, but to read his writing is painful, right? When you read it, by the way, you can see his particular cadence.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And mashallah, he's a fantastic human being as well, and all the good that he's done, and all this very important work that he's written. And this book is basically, if you want to be any sort of serious participant in the organizing space regarding Palestine, or you want to be educated, you basically encounter all the fucking methods that that's anti-Semitic, like that use, but in like excessively academic detail and fantastic like dissection of the attempts and he uses the example with Alan Dershowitz, reply or attempt to sue, and then eventually I believe also try to prevent Finkelstein's books from being published, so on and so forth.
Wow.
It's a little back and forth. It's very, very good, but like some sections like, oh, he said this, and he highlights it, and he's like, this is wrong because, and then and it's fun, but also it's like 73 pages of why that fucking statement is wrong.
The clapbacks, yeah.
Yeah, you get a little bit like, it's fun in the videos. It's not so fun in the in text form, but it is very good. It's an important one.
Lenin was guilty of that too.
Yeah, but Lenin was so funny. I'm sorry to say, Finkelstein was a little bit more dry. Lenin was funny. True. Right? I don't think Finkelstein has not called anybody a renegade. Let me see. I'm going to actually find. Let's see, does he use the word renegade? Bismillah. No, he does not use the word renegade. See, there we go. So right.
That's all.
This is a very, very good book. I highly recommend it. He talks about the use of anti-Semitism and how and the new use of it. He talks about basically how a lot of like actions, war crimes that Israel takes part in, is twisted and to like criticism of it or even covering them becomes anti-Semitic. He then talks about all the like the court things and all the stuff that he had to kind of deal with a little bit.
Such bullshit.
And then he has all the like the appendices, the postscripts where he goes through the like the specifics of what Dershowitz said. It's a good book. I recommend it. I remember like I was like, can this be like I get your point. Let's move on.
Yeah. You owned him. He's owned. Move on.
Yeah, exactly right. I remember this was also another book that it's another Iskra book, by the way. Go and support Iskra Press, please. They do fantastic. I've if I want to, I mean I do. There's quite a few books I want to write, and I have a bunch of like skeletons of several books that I don't have any fucking time. But if I were to bring a manuscript to, the first person I would go to would be Iskra Press. That is who I would go to.
Bro, please do. Please find the time. Like, make it happen. I would love to read your stuff.
Habibi. Thank you so much. I plan.
These covers are beautiful.
Yeah, they do fantastic. Go support Iskra Press, please. Go and buy a book now. This is not a sponsorship.
ISKRABooks.org.
Exactly right. And there's a good. They have a lot of like a broad range of interesting write-ups. One of them that was very excited for, and I don't want to say disappointed by, but it wasn't as like heavy hitting as I was hoping for it to be. It's one by Monville. It's called For a Few Canards More: A Counter Inquiry on Stalin and the Soviet Union. And it's good. It's well written. It's a nice essentially go through of certain like USSR history things, goes through like certain like I don't know crises or controversies that happened and how they were framed in the West, what really happened, a bunch of other stuff like that. It's very good. I think my problem is the fact that I've read a lot of the other background stuff to it, so when I came to it, none of it was really new to me. But I bet if you don't really know what much about the controversies of the Soviet Union, by the way, both from the right and the left, right? Mm-hmm. Reading this book will be very useful for you. It goes through a bunch of stuff. It goes through the famine in Ukraine that occurred in the early 30s, and then gives a lot of context and whatnot. It's very good like overview. It talks about the cat and stuff. Talks about Khrushchev. Talks about a bunch of other Trotskyite stuff. Let's say it's good. Generally, and it's very short, by the way. It's like up 90 pages or something.
We love short books. We love a quick 90. I'm looking at one here, Encountering Education: Elements for a Marxist Pedagogy. Have you read that one?
I have not. No.
That looks cool. That is a topic that interests me greatly with the two kiddos. Man, all these covers. I want them all on my bookshelf. I'm never gonna read them. I'm just gonna look at them.
There's a very good book. I mean, this is gonna be niche for. If you want to spend 250 pages reading, there's another book that I actually thoroughly enjoyed. It's called The Sultan's Renegades: Christian European Converts to Islam and the Making of the Ottoman Elite, 1575 to 1610 by Tobias Graf. It's Oxford University Press book. It's very, very good. It's things that are so peculiar about the nature of like the Ottoman bureaucracy. And also like interesting cultural. It's like a world completely removed from ours. The way that everything happened is just very interesting. But this is like I'm just going through what I've recently read now.
This is what the people want every time. They're like, please tell us what you're reading. That's what you're. These are equally valuable, by the way. My Hakeem's very important theory, my slop.
It is all very important. One book that I'll always recommend, it's something that I really think is like it should be mandatory reading because it's such an interesting application of collective grassroots socialist mobilization to preserve a revolution. It's called How the Parliament Saved the Cuban Revolution, Reviving Socialism After the Collapse of the Soviet Union by Pedro Ross. It's a book that covers the basically from special period onwards, about the local community organizations, amongst other things, that would work to maintain the revolution, essentially. How it was done, what they encountered, with difficulties. Plus, it's written in such an easy to read way, like very pleasant. It's also a short book. It's like 200 pages. The author, Pedro Ross, was a worker. I believe he was in construction or something like that. And then when the Cuban literacy campaigns in the early 60s were launched, he became a teacher for that. And then afterwards, he was basically involved very close with the general population, masses of people. And then he would also become involved very heavily in the like labor union, the national union, workers union of Cuba. He was, or he is, a very fantastic figure, historical figure, and he's old now. He's almost 90 years old. He's still alive.
Oh wow!
And he wrote this book. I don't know if he wrote it recently or if it was recently translated. I have not heard of this book before, and I am a little bit of a nerd about this kind of stuff. So I'm thinking,
well,
he
good
probably
for him
wrote
if
it
he's
recently.
still sharp and active enough to write a book. That's great.
We're parenti could not be, but he can rest. This is
he's done his time. That's a shame though. That's a tough way to go. Interesting. I'm still on the Iskra page looking at these beautiful covers. But For Land, Capital is Extinction from Prolacult, who has been on our show. That's interesting. I didn't know they were making a book. That rocks. Yeah. The podcast published on Iskra Pipeline is real. Hakeem, get on it.
I gotta do it. Oh my god. God, if I wasn't working like 5 jobs, I would be. Oh my god.
What would be the first thing you would write of all your projects that you got percolated in that beautiful brain of yours?
Let me bust out my, I have it here, hold on. Let me bust out my little...
Please bust.
There's a few, what's it called? Silly, like, fiction things that you will not know about. But some fun things that I would love to do. There's this one thing that I've been meaning to write. This is a fiction thing. Damn, dude, I wrote a good bit of this. Fuck, I forgot.
Yeah, keep going. That's surprising me, though. Fiction, that's great.
Yeah, it's a book I want to write. I called it Land of the Free. That's the working title.
Hell yeah. Let me guess. It's about blowing up the United States.
Yeah, no. It is my view of what a minority might experience in the States, and I said it in the 50s and 60s.
Nice.
And it's just kind of like the entire thread of it basically is police brutality against African American communities. That's the entire thread of it. But I try to show, this is very personal, by the way. Maybe this needs to be an exclusive for people to even know this.
Ooh, I can bleep this whole section if you want.
Yeah. And be like, only the patrons get the deets. Oh my god. But yeah, basically the entire thing is I try to make it very visceral, the kind of violence that they were exposed to, but not in like a not in a pornographic way.
Right.
I want to show like the economic undercurrents of it, but write it in a fiction way. I'm reading through some of my notes here, and it's actually very, very good, to my mind at least. But this is not what I was gonna talk about. The first thing that I was gonna do was like a historical overview of Marxist strategy from Marx to Mao.
Oh, cool.
And the person who wrote a book very similar to this is or what I was thinking is called The Communist Necessity by Mufawet Paul. And it is a very beautiful like overview or approach of revolutionary politics, how they should be grounded, how they should be applied. And it's also like a historical overview that he brings into the modern era. It's very, 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 very good book. But there's certain things that he didn't do that I would like to do. Let me see. There's a few religious things that I want to do as well.
Oh, cool.
And I still have this. I have so many notes. Oh my god. You know what? Actually, I think this is cute. Nobody steal this. But this is like the Islamic Socialist foundational text that I want to write. I have all my notes in it. And historically, a lot of our there's a tendency or a tradition of this going back over 1,000 years of all book titles that you write needing to rhyme in Arabic. for some reason, right? In the modern era, not so much. So if somebody wants to be cute, they do it. But back then, it was like every book that you wrote was like poetry.
The whole book or just the title?
No, just the title. There's some people who do the whole book also as a poetry, prose. And there's some people who do like 800, 1,000, 5,000 pages worth of stuff. It's incredible.
Dang.
And the title that I'm working with, you can bleep it because I don't want anybody to take it because I love it. But it's which basically translates to is what it would basically be from the Arabic. And this is something that I really want to do. I've been meaning to forever. If you would to see my notes.
I would love to read that, and I know the audience would too, because you get a lot of questions in the Discord about stuff like that, the intersection of Islam and socialism. So
and religion in general, like it's
there's a niche in the market, Hakeem. It's underserved.
Oh my god, I gotta get in there. Ah! Oh my god, look, I can. You give us a book, and I'll finish on one.
Yeah, well, I guess if we're talking about writing, I also am doing some writing. I am.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, I'm about 14,000 words into my own sci-fi work.
I see.
Yeah, written close third person, multiple perspectives. There are 4 perspective characters. 2 of them are a married, quote-unquote, middle-class couple. One is a dude who is highly educated but lives in the dystopian slums of the same city. And then one is a disenchanted journalist who's tired of peddling corporate propaganda. And so basically the premise is... there is a billionaire, or a trillionaire technically, running a lottery to win a ride on the last spaceship out of Earth. According to all American climate scientists, the Earth is beyond saving. The Amazon's entered a dieback loop, all that stuff, et cetera, et cetera. So the only hope lies in this corporate exodus to Mars, where they will set up a beautiful utopia. And the suburban couple wins the lottery, gets their golden ticket. And the story follows them as well as these other 2 characters left behind on Earth. And I'm very excited. I think it's going quite well. I let Kelsey read the first 4 or 5, I think 4 chapters. And she was even impressed, and she does not hold back any punches. So that was very nice.
We better get.
Yeah.
First of all, Hugo and I are the first to get manuscripts. I hope you understand.
You will get the full manuscript.
Second,
you know what? We'll trade manuscripts. That's the deal. You want to read mine? I want to read yours.
Oh, I'll show you mine if you show me yours.
Exactly.
Absolutely. That's a good deal. And we can even do a little tease for the patrons. I mean, if you're down for it.
Absolutely. Certainly do that.
That'd be cool. I would love that. Very, very nice. I can't wait to see it, Abby. It's so beautiful that you have this creative outlet amongst your other 16,000 creative outlets.
if I didn't do fun, creative things besides work, I would kill myself.
Yeah. You'd be where I'm sitting. That's
exactly, yeah.
Oh, my God. With the sniffles and some green tea.
Oh, so sad.
Oh, my God. All right. I'm going to finish this off. I'm going to finish JT off.
Finish us off, boy. We're so close.
This is a book I read a while ago, but I need to give it another recommendation. And it is by the fabulous and fantastic Roland Bohr, who I have tried, I've pleaded, I have begged to come on the podcast, and he's so sweet, and every time he's like, I would love to, but my cock is so big, and I'm working so much with the Chinese Academy of Sciences, I hear it slamming on the fucking table, this fucking thing, right, that I cannot spare any time. I am too busy advancing the cause of socialism in China, so I can't help you.
Some communist, he is not coming on our podcast. Fuck that guy.
But I'm teasing, and he's a very academic, like research, lecturer type guy. But he's very cool. He wrote a book that I cannot recommend enough. Right, like just even as a theory book, right, it works so well, even though it's not even intended to be. It's his book titled "Socialism: The Chinese Characteristics: A Guide for Foreigners," which is such a shit title. It's such a shit title.
Yeah, but the topic sounds perfect though, right up the alley of a lot of Americans.
Dude, do you know how based the Roland Bohr is? The dedication is to Lacerda. Lacerda passed away recently after what's it called? When he was working on the manuscript. And he wrote this in the School of Marxism in the Dalian University of Technology in China. So he's that much of a Sigma. But he wrote this fantabulous genuinely amazing work. Highly recommended. Where he goes through in such a beautiful way. He defines different aspects of Marxist approaches to philosophy. He breaks down the way that the political system and the economic system works in China. He breaks down the various ideological tendencies that existed, even from like the Deng Xiaoping era onwards. He goes through the ideological back and forth between the reform that underpinned the reform and opening up period within China. He talks about the economy even as planned and market and how they come together, and the way that was the way that it is, I guess, the approach and the various tendencies within the Communist Party and the nation at large, and how they pull at each other and the various contradictions. The current political approach in China, the way their democratic system is set up, both theory and their practice. It's genuinely, if there's one book you should read about China, it is this one. If you're truly interested.
That's going straight on the top of my list.
Decent book. I mean, you should read both sides. Not to sound like a centrist on it.
Yeah.
His book is very good. And the Carlos Martinez book is also very good. The East is Still Red by Carlos Martinez. Also a very good book. There's a bunch of other ones from the other side that are less, I guess, like China glazing. None of the titles are coming to me right now, but it's late and I have a cold. But I can bring them up the next time we record. But there's quite a few. You should give them a read too. I should make a video about this. Why haven't I done that?
Please do. Yeah, do like a China video or China book video list thing.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'll do a book video. I'm not going to do a video because in this stupid niche, people are like, oh my gosh, he said he doesn't agree with my political party with 12 members.
Yeah.
He's a revisionist. Oh!
Yeah, look, I'm so thoroughly China pilled already. Give me more of the China books. I'm ready.
Right. But that's the next thing that I recommend. All in all, I've had a good series of a good run in with some books. Some of them have been not too fun to read, but the vast majority has been chill. I have a bunch of other things on my list. How about that? How about I'm gonna tell people. You want the
give me the list.
Exactly right. There's a book. I saw it. It's the Alfredo Saad Filho book called Anti-Capitalism: Marxist Introduction. And it's a Pluto Press book. It's on my list. I haven't read it, but it's one that I've been recommended by people. I have not read enough of Bukhanen's work because I don't like him. I don't like most of his work. Some of it is good, but one work that I do like, I remember I read it a million years ago. It's Imperialism and the World Economy. But it's been a minute since I've read it, so I want to go and read that again. Wolf and his I was gonna say partner. That's not the right word to use. His collaborator,
co-author?
I guess, the guy who's co-author, his best friend co-author, wrestling. They published a book called Class Theory and History, Capitalism and Communism in the USSR. It's a massive fucking 600-page tome about basically.
This is Richard Wolff?
Yeah. This is a book he published in the 80s or something. I remember I also gave this a read many, many years ago, and I don't remember anything about it. But he laid out his argument for why the Soviet Union was socioeconomically capitalist from his perspective, because he's so set on the reorganization of the workplace.
Right.
I remember I was not convinced by his argument, but it's a book that I've been meaning to read. There is a few books on racism that I've been meaning to read. Diana Dark. She has a bunch of great works, but one of them is Stealing from the Saracens: How Islamic Architecture Shaped Europe. There's a few of books in the same vein that she and a bunch of other related authors have written that I want to read. So that's something that I want to get into. Let's see. I'll give you one more. Let's see another good one. Joseph Massad, which I don't like why he changed. He didn't change his name, but he goes by Joseph Massad now. He wrote a book called Islam and Liberalism, and it's from what I remember, basically a critique of the liberal approach towards Islam. I've heard good things. I have not read it. I've read a few other works of his, and they are very good. So that's
How many books do you have on your list overall? Do you know? Ballpark figure?
This current
more than 100?
Yeah. Oh my god! This is my PDF list. I have 533.
533. Good God, man.
I have my boxes of books. We haven't unpacked yet.
Oh my
I have my
God.
boxes of books. Hold on. JT will see. JT will get rare camera. Rare camera Hakeem. Hold
He's
on.
going on cam.
Oh my God.
Cam girl Hakeem.
Yeah, it's not working. All right. Well,
That's all right.
I'll show JT at some other future point.
Yeah.
But basically, what I was gonna do is show him the various sets of boxes behind me, all filled with my books that I have not yet unpacked. And I have so many of my books, including unread books, in my parents' home that I have not
Jeez.
gotten.
I don't envy you that task. Unboxing books and organizing them on your shelves is not.
I love it.
Of course you do.
You see some work that you haven't read in a while, you forgot you even had it, and you're like, oh, this was such a fucking pleasure. I'm gonna put this to the side. Do you know, actually, I will fucking rail against one book. Let me see if I can find it. Give me
Go
1
on.
second. This is what we'll end on. One sec.
All right.
There it is. I will go on record with this. Hold on, let me just put my headphones on.
All right.
There's a book that
Uh-huh.
I read. You can hear me, right?
Yeah.
There's a book that I saw in a random library when I was abroad, and it is titled Maoism, A Global History by Julia Lovell, who is supposedly a some sort of like specialist in the field. She looks like the Titan that ate Aaron's mom in Attack on Titan. Literally,
Jesus.
if you look up a picture of her, her name is Julia
Right.
Lovell, or Julia Lovell.
Julia
this-
Lovell. Okay. British author.
Yeah, of course. Ugh, Angloid.
Oh damn.
Yeah, she does.
Wow.
She does.
Yeah.
She does, right? She
Yeah.
looks like it. All right. Anyways, this book is, let me see here, 500 some pages, right?
Uh-huh.
And I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited. I have like a understanding of Maoism across its various formations, going from China then into all the rest of them. But I want the nitty gritty about Indian Maoism and then the Peruvian forms and the what's it called? Philippine. What is the
Philippine? Yeah.
Philippine
Filipino?
form, so on and so
Yeah.
forth, right? And I start reading this, and I am 55 pages in. I stopped reading. I'm gonna finish it one day, but I stopped
Yeah.
reading 55 pages in because she has made so many mistakes in these 55 pages, like basic definition mistakes
Really?
about Mao, like such stupid, like you have to so obtuse, you have to be so ideologically perverted and molested in your fucking mind.
How did the book get published? Like if she's an
Because it's anti-communist. It's very anti-communist. That's how it got fucking published, right? It got the Baillie Gifford Prize for Nonfiction in 2019, which
There
means
you
that it's
go.
very easy to get. You can shit in between two fucking pieces of cardboard handed in. You're gonna win this fucking prize. It sucks balls. Do not read this book. Do not buy this. It is garbage. Like normally I do like little notes in my books, but this one instead of doing my notes, I just fucking closed. I closed and I threw it in the fucking closet. I was so annoyed at how somebody who's supposedly a specialist in the area can write something. Hold on. I have a little note here. I have one little note. I wrote, after 55 pages, I wrote this on the inside. I wrote, dog shit, both sides and horseshoe theory nonsense. Half the claims are unsourced. What else? Perfect example of... I can't even read my own handwriting. I really am a doctor. Fuck me.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, his handwriting's bad, dear listener.
Exactly, yeah. Perfect example of reading something or researching something without understanding. She can't even define Maoism with an exclamation mark next to it. Oh my God, dude, it was bad. Right, I'm gonna. I have half a heart to do like a little bonus episode where I read through this and I make an entire 1 hour going through every fucking mistake she's made.
Jeez.
Right, just to be
That would be a good series, maybe a good patron series. Terrible Book Club with the Deprogram. I can read
Let's
The
do it. If
Romance of
people like
American
it-
Communism by Vivian Gornick. Oh my God.
Yeah, we need to do this. All right.
Yeah.
Do you know what we need to do? Yeah, make the make the thumbnail the picture of the Aaron's
Yeah.
the Titan. Oh my God. Oh, nafsi billah. I got a fucking stomach ache looking at this stuff. All right. Anyways, so that was the episode for today. We hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Let us know if you like this. If you want to see more of this, let us know if you have some ideas for special patron only after dark book related stuff that we can do. I would love that. Jesus Christ, I really did get a fucking stomach ache from that. Disgusting.
Oh, go have some broth and sleep or something.
I want your broth.
She's just I walked into that one, I guess. Fair enough.
All right. With all that said, thank you so much to all patrons who make this possible.
Wow.
We couldn't do this without you. We love you. We thank you. We appreciate you. We diddle you in places you like and don't like. And if you enjoy this stuff, then you can support us on the Patreon, where you get exclusive episodes, bonus episodes, a fuck ton of them, by the way. There's so many. Access to the Discord with a fantastic community. At the Habibi tier, you also get to get access to us in different ways. We have these once monthly chats that are very, very fun and enjoyable. Amongst many other things, discounts on merch. There's so much that you get. So take
We
a
give
look.
a lot more than most podcasts. I'll say that.
A lot more. Jesus Christ, the amount of extra stuff that we put out on
Yeah,
top
I
of
know.
all the free content. Hugo rails on us all the time. He's like, you don't understand how much we do. I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
listen to podcasts, so I guess I'll take your word for it. Well, that's that. With all that being said, this has been the Deprogram. I'm Hakeem.
I'm JT, and Hugo's granny into club.